this new leadership coming in to Congress next year, and it's going to be interesting to see whether they coalesce and come together as one big happy Democratic family under unified leadership, or if they fracture off into what we've seen on the right, establishment versus insurgent, progressives trying to come into the mainstream of the party. And where is the mainstream of the party going to be when this is all said and done? It's going to be very interesting to see if this little tiff in the Women's March is, emblematic of what we're seeing in the party as a whole. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be talking about a few more topics here. We're going to wrap up what happened in Florida and Georgia. And then later on, we're going to be talking about electoral college reform with our own Nat Paul. Gene Baradelli behind Enemy Lines. We'll be back right after these brief words.
Behind Enemy Lines.
Open calendar. What's my schedule looking like?
Next Thursday, you will be caught in an emergency flash flood between Park and First Street.
What? No, that doesn't work. I'm busy then. Decline. Decline.
Floods don't exactly work around your schedule. Disasters don't plan ahead. But you can. It starts with talking to your loved ones about making an emergency plan. So don't wait. Communicate. Get started today at ready.gov/plan. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
If you're a long-time listener of the show, or maybe this is your first time listening, you can probably tell that me and the gang here, we like to have our share of fun, whether it's on or off the air. We talk about 2-drink minimum radio and no medication Wednesdays or whatever day it may be. That's why when we found the people at Less Government, More Fun, we knew it was a match made in heaven with this show. Folks, we live in a time where government is out of hand. Our founding fathers did not intend government to be all-consuming in all parts of our lives. That's why we are telling you to go to lessgovmorefun.com, check out the website, check out the swag. What the people want is less government, more fun. Pass it on, make it happen. Behind Enemy Lines Radio is all about being right. No, seriously, it is. If you ever listen to Russ Gallo or me go back and forth on some issue, we always want to make sure that we remember who said what and when we said it. That's why we go to goonrecord.com. It's a brand new social media website. Challenge people on what they believe, whether it's in politics, sports, entertainment, finance, whatever. There's a category for you at goonrecord.com. Check it out right now. Tell us, what do you stand for? It's time for you to go on record.
Behind Enemy Lines. Back on the air.
Gene Baradelli, back behind Enemy Lines. Time to do the plugs here, folks, before you get back into the show. Thanks for listening to Behind Enemy Lines Radio. I'm Gene. Russell will be back next week when he gets back from his National Guard drill. Hope you're safe and sound, good buddy. Hope you got to blow up a lot of good things. Check us out at www.behindenemylinesradio.us. Check us out on the Facebooks and the Twitters at BEL_radio. And if you miss any part of the show, no matter how you're listening to it, don't worry, it's cool. There are tons of ways you can listen. You can always check us out on our on-air rebroadcast outlets, including WJHC, Talk 107.5 FM in Jasper, Florida, Talk 92.1 FM, WDDQ in Adel, Georgia, and News Talk 1330 AM, WLBB in Carrollton, Georgia, all a part of the Talk America Radio Network, powered by ICRN, the Internet's conservative radio network. You can also check us out at KLRN Radio and Lone Star Talk Radio, Sackheads Media. You can check us out at lanterns.buzz and Lanterns Radio, Eye to Eye Talk Radio, and our newest affiliate, Mojo 50 Radio, a project of our friend Ron Phillips and Doc Thompson and Matt Locke and a lot of great people over there that are really building a powerhouse of conservative programming. Check them out at mojo50.com. But if you miss any part of the rebroadcast, that's cool too. Listen, you don't have to listen to us live or live on tape or live broadcast or whatever we do. You can always check us out on demand. We're available to you anytime you want us around. We're available on Spreaker, Stitcher, Podbay, Player FM, TuneIn. You can discover us on Google Play Music. Find us on SoundCloud. You can also get us, of course, on iTunes and the mighty iHeart Radio Network. We're in the podcast section. Check us out there. got a lot of show left to talk about. Nat Paul's going to be on later talking about the Electoral College and his 3-part series that he wrote for www.BehindEnemyLinesRadio.us. But I'm still looking for juicy stuff to talk about, especially because it's Buffoon of the Year season, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be talking a whole lot of buffoonery this year because, oh my goodness, the nominees are just pouring in for us to sort out to a top 16. We got that selection show coming up quite soon. Who knows? It might even be next week. I got to check the calendar to see if we're actually doing it next week or the week after. But it's going to be a barn burner. And the person who I think is the number 1 seed right now, Michael Avenatti, is in the news again this week. And this time because his girlfriend, this actress, I don't even know her name. It's like Mirella Minuti or something like that. I don't even know how to pronounce it. As I mispronounce names all the time. You know that. Well, anyway, Avenatti has got a restraining order against him now by this woman who doesn't want him anywhere near her. And it was granted this week. And listen, it's starting to look more and more like Avenatti should believe women. As much as I'm having fun saying this, it appears that Michael Avenatti is looking for due process and a presumption of innocence, and is looking for us to disbelieve this woman who's going to be the accuser in court. And these are all the things that he was seeking to deny Judge Kavanaugh during the Kavanaugh hearings when he was representing Judy Swetnick. By the way, where is Miss Swetnick lately? Has anybody seen her in the news? I mean, she did accuse Judge Kavanaugh of being part of, like, rape gangs and going to multiple parties where these trains would happen. But yet, since Judge Kavanaugh has been appointed, we haven't really heard from her so much. Maybe it's because both her and Avenatti were referred by Chairman Chuck Grassley of the Senate Judiciary Committee to be referred to the FBI for investigation about possible false allegations against Judge Kavanaugh, now Justice Kavanaugh. Maybe that has something to do with it. But this just piles on to the really, really bad week that Michael Avenatti had. It's turning into a bad month between the multi-million-dollar judgment that a former associate has won against him and his law firm, and being evicted from his Newport Beach law office, and now this domestic violence beef with restraining order. Things are not going so smoothly for the would-be next president of the United States. And I say that laughing again because I can't say that with a straight face. No one should be taking this guy seriously. The guy's clown shoes, bottom line. But he's going to be in the running for Buffoon of the Year. I can almost guarantee that. And along with so many other deserving buffoons, including one that also made the news this week. Brenda Snipes may be in the running for Buffoon of the Year just because she screwed up the Florida election so bad, with now Governor-elect DeSantis and Senator-elect Scott finally being declared the winners in those races. Thanks, Brenda, for all the entertainment that you provided us for Buffoon of the Year purposes, being a last-minute entry, for finding all these votes that apparently popped up out of nowhere, and then, not really having a good explanation about it, or missing every single judicially mandated and legally mandated deadline for counting votes, for forgetting to carry the one and all that stuff. It just seems like, wow, we got so many buffoons this year. It's going to be a blast choosing between them, and I can't wait to bring the selection show to you guys. It really is the most wonderful time of year, and not just because of Christmas season coming. It's because Buffoon of the Year season is coming, and we love that on the show. The other thing I want to talk about real quick, before, I'm up against a hard break here. We have an epidemic in this country of not accepting election results. It started with Hillary Clinton accusing Donald Trump of wanting to do this. But now Stacey Abrams in Georgia, part of our listening area, is saying that while she is acknowledging the results of the election of now Governor-elect Kemp, that she is saying that this was not a legitimate election, that there was fraud, there was suppression, Listen, folks, 50,000 votes plus is now the margin of victory for the governor-elect. I don't see how there can be that much fraud and suppression without evidence of it that can be actually examined by a neutral fact finder. It just isn't possible. But this epidemic on the left of delegitimizing election after election that they don't like the outcome of, it is so counter to our democracy and to our founding principles. It's a situation that really was not conceivable just a few short years ago. We brought this up last week when Al Gore had one of the closest elections in our nation's history. He respected the rule of law and he conceded properly, and he actually brought a healing to the nation together. Hillary Clinton and these new breed of Democrats are simply doing the opposite. They are engendering fear, disenfranchisement, and resentment in the country, and that's not good going forward in this nation. It's gotten to the point, folks, where you have to question the qualifications of some of these people that are quote-unquote leaders out there, right? Hillary Clinton going around, delegitimizing the Trump presidency has had a very dilatory effect on, pushing forth the agenda that people elected him for. And going later on in the show, we're going to be talking about a product of that, which is Nat Paul's running story about electoral college reform. The reason why he even wrote that is because of this feeling of resentment towards election results and going after, quote, the system and claiming the system is bad. Just as a little preview of my opinion for Nat's articles, and you'll probably hear it in the interview. It's a great discussion we had, by the way. We don't agree on the Electoral College at all. I think the Electoral College is doing exactly what it should be doing, and that is striking this balance of federalism between popular vote and one person, one vote, and populations of each state, and making sure that states have their say in what happens in these elections. I feel like it strikes that balance really well. If you wanted to break it down to one person, one vote, obviously campaigns would change their strategies and, target different areas and different voters. They would go into the people, Republicans would go into the People's Republic of New York. Democrats would go into Texas. And they would find these voters in different pockets and try to steal them here and there to kind of tip the balance. But it should also be, in my opinion, the Electoral College preserves the union. States are what is very important in our Constitution. States are the laboratories of democracy. States determine how their electoral votes are actually distributed, whether it be winner take all or if it's proportional, as some states have chosen. They can choose to do that within the constitutional framework of the Electoral College. We'll also be getting into this whole, at least briefly, the multi-state compact that's been going around where states are going to be making this extra constitutional remedy to not being able to amend the Constitution and the Electoral College and how it operates. To me, that's just the wrong thing to do. We'll explain that fully during the show, but I don't think that states should be pledging themselves in accordance with what other states will be doing as to how their votes will be determined, especially in a compact that could be revocable pretty much at any time. There needs to be a permanence in your voting system. We're going to get into that as well. We also talk about what happened in Maine with this ranked voting nonsense. There's a whole lot of show coming at you, folks. Can't wait to bring it to you. But we got to take a quick break right now. When we come back, Nat Paul comes on the show to discuss those articles and these very issues. Gene Baradelli, behind enemy lines, getting a little choked up here. That means we'll be back right after a few brief words from some sponsors and friends. Hey folks, I just want to let you know about a great opportunity for listeners of Behind Enemy Lines Radio. If you go to our website, www.behindenemylinesradio.us, and click on the SaneBox ad on the right side of the page, you will get a great opportunity for a discounted offer to join SaneBox. SaneBox filters out all the unimportant email from your inbox so that you can really focus on what matters. If you're anything like me, folks, you get hundreds of pieces of email a day. not many of which is important. SaneBox's smart filter will get everything you need to